a nice weekend anyway?
I have, my lovely, I really have. I went out to like a music gig last night, which was really cool.
Nice.
On a Sunday night, so very rogue. It was
Have you?
awesome.
Were you watch? Did you watch much of the show? Like but now, because obviously it's got a lot. Did you watch it over the weekend? Do you kind of do that when the release of a series, or is it a bit tricky?
So I've already watched it over twice already, if not nearly three times actually at this point. I just think it's spectacular. It's just amazing, and like I'm blown away by the whole thing. And also you kind of, because it was filmed so long ago, you sort of forget what it was like filming it, like the whole experience in a sense. You don't forget, but it's just like, oh my God, yes, I remember when we had to do that shot. Or oh my goodness, I remember them doing that fight scene now. Oh, and it all floods back. So I just couldn't be more proud. And I'm just so in awe of the cast, like Tahirah Sharif, Rowan, Jason Fleming, like Martha Plimpton. They're all ridiculous, like all of them. Sharman Georges Jaques. I'm just like, oh. So yeah. So I'm blown away, and I love that era. I love that the aesthetic of it. I love how vivid it is, but I love that it's actually seeped in just real family dynamics and the relationships between these really kind of dysfunctional characters that you grow to love, but in ways where you go, oh gosh, I can't believe I love them, but yet at the same time they're doing this crazy thing. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
Definitely like to go out for a drink with a lot of them. Probably end up in some sort of brawl somewhere, but it'd be quite a lot.
Oh, absolutely. With an 80s disco music playing. Like, but no, I'm with it.
So I think because Hey You Guys, we did the junket for this last week. So I think we had someone speak to you, and I think with Martha paired. So we will, even though we're going to be speaking obviously about the show, because obviously it's the most latest thing you've got out. I'll be speaking about your kind of career and a few other stuff sort of today to sort of. But I want obviously we will start with A Town Called Malice because it is obviously just come out. So I just wanted to ask as well, because you were talking about like sort of signing up to a project, and so I'm sure you want to kind of choose a really good character, and there's all these kind of factors that go into choosing a great role. But was it a shooting in Spain? That must have been such a lovely added bonus.
Absolutely. And you know what, speaking of like getting the role as well, it was so I did a show called The Last Kingdom before A Town Called Malice, and I got to work with a phenomenal director called Jamie Donahue, and he directed me in Last Kingdom, and he was like, oh, I think I'll put Eliza up for it. So obviously you had to audition and everything, and he just read the character and thought, she might be good at this. So it's because of Jamie Donahue believing in me and thinking, oh, I'll let Eliza audition for this. So that's how I ended up getting in Town Called Malice, which is awesome. And then obviously when they were like, and now we're going to film at Tenerife. I mean, what? I mean, just everything about this whole show is just perfect. And the creator, Nick Love, is an absolute genius. And all of us are just like astonished with his work. And getting to work so tightly with him was awesome. He is so collaborative with all of the actors. So, although obviously the script is written, there are so many days where he'd come in and go, actually, what do you feel like saying? Or, I think actually if you did this, I've been watching your scenes here and I've noticed this and this and this. And, he would really write alongside what he was seeing the actors do, which I think is so gorgeous, because then I knew that parts of us were dripping into these characters as well. So there was like a really wonderful, sort of togetherness and a layering of the characters mixed in with people playing them. And the characters are so phenomenal as well. They're just so awesome. And yeah, getting to film in Tenerife, it was such a dream. Honestly, I can't even get over that we got to do that. It was wonderful. And I'm a big fan of Tenerife. Big up Tenerife.
It must have been like, I'm assuming good food as well. It must have been.
Oh, phenomenal. Oh my goodness, Stefan, it was absolutely stunning. And we went out in February of 2022. And it was so hot. It was so gorgeous. We would hit the beaches on the weekends. We went to see the volcano, Teide. We went to the Siam Park water park. That's hilarious. But it was just such a dream. And the whole cast are angels. So the fact that it was just like that. Everyone clicked. It was like, boom, here we go. It was our family, and it was amazing.
Because I mean, obviously, like the reason the show's good is the strength of the kind of characters and the family sort of dynamics. But it's very stylistic as well. I love the kind of look and feel of it. I mean, the outfits are superb. Did you? I mean, I'm sure you've probably been asked this already, but did you get to keep anything at all that you
didn't get to keep anything. But and that's such a gorgeous question as well, because I would have loved to have kept every single item as well, Stefan. I was like, maybe if I just pinch this, no one will notice. But like, honestly, everything was just unbelievable. Molly Rowe is our costume designer, and again worked with me on The Last Kingdom. She actually made the costumes for my character Lady Elswith in the middle seasons, and I was like, oh my god, the fact that we got to work together again on such a different show, being able to show off her range as a designer was just absolutely incredible. Like, she blows us away, and she really helped create our characters. I mean, because it's one thing becoming the character, but the minute you put on that costume and you look at yourself and you're sort of feeling it, and you've got maybe the rings on, and it's the way you move, and it's just the way you then sort of start seeing yourself, that completely creates this character. And her looks were just out this world, and I love the 80s, and she just went for it. And even with like the supporting artists, they looked absolutely sensational. And I feel like everybody's character was so authentically seen through their costumes, whilst also having this huge, wonderful nod to this amazing era of the 80s. So it was just done so spectacularly. We were all obsessed with Molly Rowe's costume design. It was amazing.
Yeah, so much respect for all the HODs. They do such good work behind the scenes. They really do. It's incredible.
And they make the characters, like, we learn the lines, sure, we do that, but everybody else, they do everything. Like, they really make us look the way we do. And it's just, even that the hair and makeup team's unbelievable. Sophie Slotover is our head of makeup, absolutely exquisite. Like, for Carly especially, I get some really amazing hairstyles and makeup looks, so she just went for it, and I just loved that. And Jesus was my personal hairstylist, and he was absolutely amazing. And he even, for one of the hair looks, his sister got married in the 80s, and he used her wedding photograph as like a hairstyling inspiration, which I think is so cute. So yeah, he was incredible.
Wish I had a personal hairstylist. I'm not sure what they do with this, but
oh no, Stefan, you look gorgeous. They would perm you up. You'd be like 80s dream. Be fabulous. Or mullet.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, they're coming back.
Coming back. Oh, it's exciting. If you walk around Shoreditch enough, you'll see at least 5.
But on the 80s film, I mean, the tunes are great in this. But I was wondering, because there are some scenes where it feels like the scene is so symbiotic with the song that's playing, as they kind of match up. Did you guys know what songs were going to be playing at certain moments? Did they ever play them on speakers or anything for you guys to work with?
That is such a good question. My mum asked me that, because she was like, it's like not a music video necessarily, but it's so musically driven. The music is like another character within the story. You're so correct that sometimes it was playing, absolutely, and then there were other times where there was a song suggestion in the script, but then you'd watch it and it would maybe be a different one, even more perfectly sort of, as you said, synced up to the storyline due to the lyrics and the feeling of it. So there were some times where the music was playing, like if we were to like lip sync certain things, then the music was playing. But then other things, I was just like staggered by the music choice. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Like I love that kind of music, and the fact that each song was telling a story, as you say, it only like enhances the gorgeous performances, really makes you feel like you're at one with the world that they're creating. And there's something about 80s music as well, that it's like, because it's so electric sounding sometimes, it really does something to me. I find it very moving. There's like electricity flowing through you almost as you're watching it. And it sounds like the wishiest washiest thing I've ever said, but there is something very like, you hear like the electric guitar or something, you're like, ooh, like, it just does something. And I feel like, the way they marry up the scenes alongside the music is just beautiful. And then we love then the sort of more sort of lip syncy music video style things as well. They were a lot of fun to do. Everyone kind of got their own bits. One of my favorites was Daniel Sharman, who is unbelievable at the show. He is so amazing as Kelly. He has is the opening of episode 3, so you'll see that soon, Stefan. It's really cute, and he does literally the music video opens the whole thing, and it's Kaylee is the song. He's playing Kelly, so I love that. And it's just awesome. And everyone's like, it's almost like a dream-like sort of state that the characters get in, and then they like immediately come out of it, and it's like nothing's happened. And I love that. It doesn't even like play on what's just happened. You just smoothly carries on. I'm like, ooh, very cool. It's fabulous. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, talking of the 80s, because your work, because the website this interview's for, we're working for, is HeyUGuys, and obviously HeyUGuys is a line from The Goonies, which is obviously a classic from the 80s. And Martha Plimpton, of course, is one of the roles in The Goonies. I was just wondering what it was like working with a Goonie on this show.
Martha is an icon. Martha is absolutely gorgeous inside and out. She is so talented, like on the most immense level possible. And like, I would just look at her and I'd be like when I say like I was in awe of everyone, I really mean jaw on the floor. And like Martha just was absolutely stellar. The way she also transformed into Mint Ma blew me away, because I remember her even saying, I'm an American and I'm having to not only play this British part, but it's like South London vernacular and also the cultural style of saying things and expressing yourself is so specific. And I'm not from there either naturally, but I knew it is a bigger journey going from being known as American and then transforming into this part. And I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Mint Mar. Like Martha is just top. She is just phenomenal. And she's just so much fun as well. Like being with Martha was absolutely hilarious every single day. Like the jokes she would come out with, she's utterly fabulous and so talented. And when I got to watch then her whole performance through all the episodes, because there's so much that we get to read about. So like scenes that Mint Mar is in, but then we only get to really see them when they're obviously on TV. And honestly, I'm obsessed with Martha. I love her so much. I tell her all the time, and she laughs. She loves it. She laughs, but she's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping there'll be a second series. You can tell her even more.
Ooh, exactly. Oh my goodness, fingers crossed. Honestly, but they were all sensational, and Jason Fleming as well as our patriarch was just unreal. Because I also saw him in so many kind of like gangster or crime kind of like style movies of that kind of theme and genre, and but what he brings to this is not only the quite kind of the strength of Albert, his character, but there's so much flair and charisma, and he's one of those characters where you're like, I'm falling in love with watching them, but at the same time that they're doing crazy things. You're like, oh my god, but I love this character. So it really like pulls at your heartstrings sometimes within the show, because people, just when you feel like you've worked someone out as well, they completely change. There are so many really incredible twists for every single character throughout the plot that really makes you think again. And so upon watching it for the second time for me, and I watched it for the second time because my dad, he's got hearing aids, and I didn't put the subtitles on the first time I watched it, and then the second time we're like, okay, I need subtitles on so my dad can like hear what's going on. And now he's like, oh, I didn't get that the first time, bless him. So I've been watching it again through his eyes, and like, yeah, it's just incredible to see all the different character arcs and transitions, and as I said earlier, the family dynamics. That's what drives the whole story forward. It's like the incredible the tiny sort of little layers that start stacking up until there's literally like an explosion of emotion like on every single part of the story. And yeah, it's just like how the family then copes with that, and then what happens next. It's just unbelievable. Really, really clever.
So just go back to the Goonies quickly, because this weekend my parents are turning my brother's old room now into like an office for my dad because he's like working from home. So we had to go and like clear everything out. And I found a sort of a book that sort of, and it was when I was 9 years old, and I had to write my favorite things, and I had to write my favorite movie. And it wasn't the Goonies. I know a lot of kids would have had the Goonies, but I actually wrote Good Burger. I don't know if you've ever seen the film Good Burger.
With Keenan and Kel. Yeah, oh, of course, I love that. Home of the Good Burger, can't take order.
So that was when I was 9 years old, that was my number one film. That was my favorite film of all time. I was wondering if we went back and asked a 9-year-old Eliza Butterworth what her favorite film of all time, what do you reckon you would have said?
Oh, well, I love Robin Williams. And so I would have said like Mrs. Doubtfire or something. He was just extraordinary. And someone who is so moving and hilarious in the same breath. I'm like, how can he make me go and cry? And then I was like, like he was exquisite. So I'd say Mrs. Doubtfire. Or I love like Ace Ventura. I also love like Eddie Murphy's like Daddy Daycare, things like that. I quite like comedies.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, I was going to say, because if you like, as someone who likes that kind of off the wall kind of comedians, they're quite like larger than life comedians. I mean, you worked with Harry Enfield as well, didn't you, recently?
Oh my gosh,
that must have been amazing. I love Harry Enfield.
He was incredible. That was literally such an honor. It was crazy. The audition came through really quickly, and I remember because I just wrapped on The Last Kingdom. We flew back from Budapest, and it was literally like the next 2 days. I was so lucky to be propelled then into the theatre world, and which is something I hadn't visited for a number of years after leaving drama school. And the fact that it was Harry Enfield, I was like, are you joking? And I was always massive fan of Harry Enfield, loved Kevin Perry Go Large. I've always watched the Windsors on TV. I was always a massive fan anyway. So when it was like the Windsors but on stage, I was like, this is just too cool. And Harry Enfield was so hilarious every day. He's exactly what you'd imagine. He's so cheeky, he's so cute. He's always coming up with the most hilarious things, and just the way his mind works is just awesome. And I just learned so much from him as well, of like comic timing. The whole cast were just tremendous in that. We had like Tracy Lucy Ann Oberman as our Camilla, Cara Toynton was our Kate, my lovely Jenny Rainsford played my sister Beatrice, and gorgeous Sophie Louise Dan as Fergie, and she's hilarious. But Jenny and I as Beatrice and Eugenie, we had to like walk on and like talk like that. I like the more that we like went on in the scenes, like our vowels got really long, and like we just like made it as ridiculous as we could with the posh accent, because the girls in the Windsor TV show are so incredible. We like tried to mirror what they had done and put it in the show. It's funny.
I mean, it's just that you've had some really great little credits and stuff to your name so far. I mean, I mean, Last Kingdom, of course, is a kind of really big show for you. I mean, there must be so many amazing memories you must cherish from that. Do you reckon that's a show you're always going to hold really close to your heart as kind of like the real springboard for your career?
Stefan, it will always be my favorite show. It will always be the biggest thing in my whole heart, because I grew up on that show, and the people in that show are still my best friends to this day. I love them all so dearly. You know, I David Dawson as King Alfred, Millie Brady as Ethel Fled, Alexander Drayman as Uhtred, phenomenal. And you know, I speak to like Mark Rowley nearly every other day as Finnan. Timothy Innes, who played Edward, just like mind blowing. So all of them, I just love them all to bits. And we we're always in communication, and I'm so proud of them with the film coming out. I'm so excited to see it. It's going to be awesome. I get to now watch as like The Last Kingdom's biggest fan. I'm going to have my popcorn like, so I'm so excited. And they're just sensational. And I'll be actually so gutted when the movie comes out, which will be in a couple of weeks, because it sort of will mark the end of the saga. I mean, I'm praying, hopefully not, maybe in like 5 or 10 years, they do some kind of other spin-off or something. That would be amazing. But for now, it's, you know, sort of marks the end of what was nearly a decade for all of us. It's an end of an era. I started that show in end of 2014. And I went all the way to 2021, 2022, 2021. And yeah, I just literally grew up as a person, but also as an actor on that show. And I was so scared of screen work as well before I got that job. And getting to watch everybody every single day, these unbelievable actors, you just absorb it. And I just feel like I was able to gain confidence as an actor, especially on screen, because theatre was what I mainly loved. So it completely changed the way I saw cameras and screen work and all that kind of thing. And now I've weirdly mainly done that, which is awesome. It's something I never thought I would do. I never ever thought I'd be on TV or do a TV job in my life. I'm such a like Shakespeare kind of chick. I love the Globe and the Royal Shakespeare Company, so I thought that would be my thing. So it's been spectacular. But The Last Kingdom is so special, and the whole story of it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's so moving. And the last couple of episodes of season 5 were mind-blowing, and we were all like, ah. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, you did grow up. I mean, I just sort of think back, if I even go on like Facebook and I see pictures of myself from when I was like 21, 22 in uni, I'm always like that. But how are you watching yourself on screen from that time? Because you've kind of, I guess you've been able to watch yourself grow in some regards on screen. Is it quite strange going back and watching like early episodes if you ever do?
Definitely, that's such a good question, because you're so right. It is weird. It's so weird. Watching yourself on TV anyway is the weirdest thing. I have to do it with other people. I can't do it on my own. Then I kind of like, if I come on screen and sort of squint and then maybe like don't listen, but then like, and then maybe on the second time around, I like maybe just about listen and go, yeah, right, just to see what's going on. But with Lady Else of the Last Kingdom, I was 20 and I was 20 when I first got the job, and then as it went along, I did it till I was 27, 28, and so each year they obviously added like another 5 years to the show or 10 years to the show. So by the end of it, I have these grandchildren, I'm a grandmother, you know, Lady Ellsworth's potentially in her, I don't know, 50s, like whenever that's short, we're like, is she 50? But I would have been about 27 in the last season. So it was really cool to have to take on a character that really has to grow up, that really has to transition, that has, you know, grief in her life through her family, that has children, grandchildren, somebody that's in a position of power, somebody that's really responsible. And just getting to play that kind of role really just to help me grow up as well. But in a way, because she's nothing like me as a person, and like I feel like I don't really look like Lady Ellsworth, although when I have no makeup on, that's when people recognize me. It's actually quite hilarious. And whenever I look absolutely horrific, someone goes, you in that? I'm like, right, because I know I'm like, okay, because I look like Lady. It's the funniest thing. But in terms of like the way she is nothing like me. So in a way, it's not too strange watching her, because I know I'm not like that. I'm like, oh God, that's a completely different person, sort of thing. I mean, even my own family members, I remember when it first came out, actually came out on BBC America when we were first a BBC show, and my auntie had actually watched it for the first time. She was the first one to see it because it wasn't out on BBC Two yet. And anyway, she watched the whole first season, and I gave her a ring. I was like, oh, did you like it? What did you think? She was like, yeah, it's so good, but I'm afraid you're just not in it at all. She's like, I didn't see you once, not even once. I was like, oh, well, no, I'm not a big character in it, not in season one or anything, but I'm Alfred's wife, so I might have been in the background. She went, oh my God, you were that horrible old bitch. Oh my God. I was like, oh, excuse the profanity, and I was like, oh, I was just laughing because she was like, I did not know that was you, because she's just so like dour, severe, and mean. So yeah, it's
sign of a good performance, though. Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know about that, but definitely just think the look made people go, "Oh, what is that? Liza doesn't look too good." But I love that.
You mentioned about people kind of speaking to you about it. I mean, do you kind of enjoy meeting fans and having kind of fan interaction with this show?
Oh, 100%. I mean, The Last Kingdom wouldn't be on without our gorgeous fans at all. Like they are absolutely the full driving force of the show, and how well it's done. The way they even like petition for certain characters. Like, so I see their Facebook groups. I'm like, oh, I just love it so much. The way they petition for certain fans to carry on, not certain fans, certain characters, and they just have so much love for it, and they really have such a strong love too. Our Last Kingdom fans are the best in the world. They really are the best, and they're so kind, and they're so supportive, and they're so loving, and they really just engage with the characters on a crazy level. They even like work out like theories between like different like dynamics of characters as well that I never even thought about. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that person did do that, or and it's just, yeah, they're so invested in the show. And there's fans I've even spoken to that have watched the whole show 5 times over, and I mean every single season 5 times over. So I'm like, whoa, damn, that's impressive. But we've had the absolute honor to meet a lot of fans over the last couple of years at conventions, and it's been just beyond a joy. It's like a joy and an honor, and they are so kind and lovely, and they're just so invested in the show, and they really love it. And I feel like they'll be so sad as well if this really is the end of the saga. I think it will be like meh, because they've really come along with us on that journey for like 8 years. When I think about it, it's been such a long time, and I feel like the characters really do speak to people, and they resonate with people. So yeah, and it's lovely to see them all dressed up as Vikings as well. They all like come to conventions dressed as their favorite character. One lady came dressed as Elsa. I was like, oh yeah. But like coming with their little Viking shields and stuff, it's fabulous.
It's funny because I mean, obviously, fan interaction and stuff is a kind of sign of being sort of recognized and people are liking your work. I was wondering about the notion of kind of like fame, because it's a kind of byproduct of this career. It's not something that people necessarily go into this career for. You go in because you want to tell good stories. You go into it because it's something you feel passionate about, you're good at. You go to drama school because you enjoy the camaraderie and all those kind of factors. But it is one of those careers where the better you get and the more things you're in, with that comes sort of fame. And I just wondered if you've ever kind of thought about that kind of side of things, and the idea of your rising kind of profile industry also meaning a kind of rising sense of being stopped on the street and all that kind of stuff that comes with it.
Totally, Stefan, that's such a, you actually just like hit the nail on the head there about like being an actor and just going into it purely for wanting to tell stories and become characters. And really a lot of the actors that I've met throughout the years, they become actors, a lot of them because they're really shy. I was a really shy child, and this is really random, but I was so shy, and my mum like took me to this like summer theatre thing. And I remember like getting bitten by the bug, as you say, like by the acting bug, and getting a bit more confidence. And it was weirdly through that I started to love acting and thinking, oh, I don't have to be me all the time. I can adopt this other character. I can, put my shoes in this other story, and I can really, learn about different eras of time and, different cultural things through stories and stuff. And that's what then led me to drama school. So not once and I don't think many actors I've ever met would say they had a driving force to become famous or do anything like that. It's like, everyone wants to, just like in any job, you want to do a good job and hope that whatever you do is successful, but it's not necessarily like a personal reach for for fame or anything like that. So I suppose, yeah, when that might happen to people and they're thrust into something, you know, it could be a lot. It could be, you know, I suppose there's so many fun aspects to it, but at the end of the day, you just want people to enjoy what you've made, because it's all about the audience. It's all about you're telling a story and hoping that they take something away from it and resonate with the characters, and, you know, maybe they get moved by it, you know, entertained by it, they laugh by it. Maybe they just fall in love with an era of time. I'm really excited for young people, like really young people, to watch A Town Called Malice. Not really young, they have to be over 18 because there's a lot of swearing in it. But like, you know, to just kind of feel like, oh, I love the 80s, you know, this is a really cool, you know, era of time and that kind of thing. But yeah, so with I guess for me, I just see it as like, I hope I'm doing a good job and I'm going to carry on doing a good job, and yeah, just sort of see what happens. But it's lovely to be able to be with a cast to tell stories, and when like you know, the Last Kingdom fans, for instance, when they're so in love with that, I just think that's so nice that something we've done has had an impact on people. Some people even said, you know, that show got us through the pandemic, that show helped me bond with my family, you know, it's something we all got to sit down and watch together. It was the thing we looked forward to, and I think, oh, that is just gorgeous. And really, that's what anyone should be in this industry for. And, you know, all the rest of it that comes with it is stunning. Get to meet fabulous people, and there's so many thrills. But at the end of the day, it's, yeah, all about, as you said, Stefan, telling stories, and I love that. So as long as I can keep doing that, then I'm grand.
I mean, was it quite tough? I mean, because obviously with the I know there is obviously the film coming out, which I know you're looking forward to seeing, but was it quite tough not being able to be in that? Because I interviewed a star recently of Bridgerton, and she had to withdraw from the next season of Bridgerton, and she had another project that was on. I think it's one of those things where it's a tough decision, but I guess it ultimately is a kind of good thing, isn't it? Because choice, being in demand, that's what we're all kind of in it for in some regards. So I guess the fact that you had to choose between two projects, or had to, is ultimately a good thing. But was it quite sad for you still that you?
Man, it was so sad. I literally was on the phone. I remember I was in my childhood bedroom in Lincoln, and the lovely Nigel Marchant, who's the executive producer of The Last Kingdom and has been our whole time, like it's like one of his babies kind of thing. He was like calling me and, you know, being like, we'll do everything we can. But then A Town Called Malice was filming at the exact same time, and we were in Tenerife, and because COVID was still a bit of an issue, what it meant was, if I could have done both, I would have had to have flown back to Budapest, but you have to like quarantine for a whole week before you're even allowed to film. And it was because of that, because of the COVID aspects, that meant the Town Called Malice people were like, well, we can't wait a whole week and then another week for her to fly back to Tenerife, and then, you know, stay another week for us before she's allowed to film. So all in all, it was just such a shame. But it's just one of those things. And as you said, it's also, I'm very lucky that I was in a position where I still, you know, got to do a project at the end of the day, because you know, that's fantastic as an actor to be able to do something. And it's so funny as well, Stefan, because then with actors, it could be like you're waiting, you know, 6 months, 9 months for something, you know, great to come along. You could be working loads of other jobs, and then, you know, the minute something comes, it's like, oh no, it could be two things, and you're like, why wasn't that other thing there? When, you know, crazy. But for me, it was just heartbreaking to not be able to be a part of the last saga, because they are my family. The Last Kingdom cast are my absolute family, and I love them all. And Alexander Draymond is such a dream, and I've literally been in the show since season 1, so not being able to, like, you know, be by his side or like be by the rest of them during what is like such a momentous thing is gutting. But then I can't wait to watch it as like a super fan. So I'm just so proud of them. And like, I've seen the trailer, I've seen like still images. Whenever I hang out the cast, I'm like, ooh, show me this. And it just looks so brilliant and astonishing. And it's such a wonderful piece of work, and I'm just so proud that I've been in any way involved with it over the years. It's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I hope if any of them want to watch Town Called Malice, that they enjoy it too, because we've got so many of the same crew, like in terms of, we've got Molly Rowe, our costume designer from The Last Kingdom, Jamie Donahue, our first director, he's from The Last Kingdom, and the sensational Chaz Bain, who was our first DOP on the first block of A Town Called Malice, also did the first ever Last Kingdom. So we're all completely intertwined. It's actually crazy. And Jason Fleming was in The Last Kingdom. He was actually in season 1, episode 1 of the Last Kingdom. It's crazy, all the different, you know, paths and stuff. So yeah, but I love The Last Kingdom, and I can't wait to see the movie. Woo!
Oh, yeah, but you're right about them both. They're things that clash. Sod's Law is a real thing. It is a real thing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it really is. But I've only got enough time for one question because then this Zoom meeting will close. But it was just because you mentioned about kind of like being in this, not being obviously now watching the movie, but obviously being sad not to be in it. Even though I'm sure maybe one day there could still be a chance there could be a last kid of thing. But is there like a WhatsApp group or something you guys all keep in?
Oh,
yeah.
We have about five WhatsApp groups. We have the TLK, like the normal one with like literally every single cast member that's ever been on it from season to season. Then we've got one where we lived in Budapest for like the last for season 5. We've got that group chat. There's so many. Then we've got like a TLK ladies group chat. I know the boys have got a group chat. There's so many group chats. So we're always just chatting to each other in there. We always wish each other happy birthday. We've got kind of like a really hilarious tradition with that Yepa and Arnis like thought of, where I know it sounds really weird, but we all send a picture of each other with our middle fingers up to each other as like the happy birthday mate. It's like so funny. There's so many hilarious pictures throughout the years of them. But no, we just adore each other. We're also excited to see Seven Kings Must Die. Ooh,
at least the show that you did instead is A Town Called Malice, and it's brilliant.
Oh, so thank you, lovely.
And
bring back the mullets, bring back the perms,
exactly.
Bring back the 80s, 80s tall.
Yeah. But it's been so lovely speaking to you about all this stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up again, maybe in person properly for the second season if it happens.
Lovely. It was amazing talking to you too. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to HeyUGuys.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching HeyUGuys.
HeyUGuys, huh?
HeyUGuys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,